Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. So my name is Marrron. My other name is Paul. I might talk about that. There's a story behind that. Just to get an idea who's in the room tonight, can you, if we've met before, can you make the sound of a dog that's just won a year's supply of bones? Fantastic. Okay, there's a few dogs. And if we're meeting for the first time, could you make the sound, please, of a cat that's just got a flat tyre on its way to the off licence, which is just about to close? Okay, not so many cats. Or just very disappointed, quiet cats. So, my name is Marrron, and I enjoy standing up here, dressing up, and talking about different things, and not really having an idea, a firm idea, what I'm going to talk about until I stand up on this stage. So what I'd like to talk, the main theme, it might go off at a few tangents. Nick, can you give us 2 minutes, please? And actually, I'd just like to say a big thank you for this opportunity. It's a wonderful thing to be at the Brunswick and Open Mic, and thank you again, Nick, for our wonderful host, whose birthday it was recently. So the subject I wanted to talk about, there's been a bit of a theme so far with the song that you kicked off this evening with, Nick. And I just noticed, Ruby, your shoes. The theme is love. So I'd like to talk a little bit about love tonight. And it's an important thing. And you look at, in the world today, what's kind of going on. It's an interesting time to be alive. And I'd say, of everything that we need more, we don't need more money. There's more than enough to go around. There's more than enough resources to go around, isn't there? We kind of know this. And there's too many weapons. And there's a lot of other things, but love. If we can cultivate a little bit more love going on. Does that sound like a good thing? Yeah. So what we're going to do this evening is we're going to do a little bit to start that process off, so you can join me at the end. And I'd like to talk about how it relates to my journey doing this open mic. It's an interesting thing, particularly anyone that's close to me knows what it's like to do this. On a Monday, part of me is excited to see the post, to put my name down, to come do the open mic, and part of me is terrified, just doesn't want to do it. Can anybody relate to that, to being on the stage? There's like these two competing voices. One which is like, I really want to do it, the other which isn't so keen. So it's been a journey since I started back in March. I've been trying to do an average of one a week for a whole year. I've fallen a little bit behind for various reasons. But there's something just really wonderful and really profound, I've found, to be on stage in front of you wonderful people. Because it's always so welcoming at the Brunswick. It's a really, really, really lovely crowd. Everyone's made to feel really welcome. And with that in mind, something I kind of realised very recently about, because sometimes I've had what I describe it as a good evening, and it just felt really good. I always enjoy being up here, but it's that what happens beforehand and what happens afterwards. So the next day or that evening, kind of think, oh, that wasn't very good, for whatever reason, that people didn't laugh because I started off telling jokes for the dogs that have just won a year's supply of bones. So I started off trying to tell jokes, and there was some laughter, but I never wanted to be this person that would just come up and say these rehearsed jokes. I just wanted to be more natural, and because I realised I was actually going back to a childhood pattern of mine, which was to do things to get people to like me. And it's completely normal, right? We all want people to like us. It feels nice to be accepted. But I realised fairly recently that actually some of the time for me it was coming from a lack of ability to love myself. And I'm realising more and more, if I can find that place within myself to really love myself deeply, no matter how well I'm doing at life, if I'm achieving things or just getting by, because we all know it can be quite a difficult thing, this experience called life, with all its challenges. There's not a single human being on this planet that doesn't face challenges, no matter how rich people are. Rich people aren't happy. I don't know if that makes you feel better knowing that, but just this thing that we've been told is to achieve this, to earn this amount of money. If you do this, if you do this, you do this, then you'll be happy. But there's so many people that get to that and don't find that. So happiness must come from within, and I would say it starts from a place of loving oneself. But even that can sound like a funny thing, because it's like, oh, look at that person, they love themselves. And it's seen as such a negative thing, right? And I think maybe even more so in this country, we're not kind of conditioned. Well, I wasn't conditioned to love myself, say, just to kind of be very fit into a box and just kind of go along and just be nice. And yeah, I'm kind of done with that. I reached this point where actually, yeah, and then finding myself in relationships where I was placing such a demand on the other person to love me. So there's a lot of songs about love. There's a lot of love in this world that's actually more like codependency, I feel. So I've started looking in the mirror and looking in my eyes, first on the left, then on the right, and just looking deeply in and say, I love you, and seeing how that is. And I just started doing it. Has anyone tried that exercise? Has anybody done that? No? Yeah. Not yet. Okay, maybe a little bit of homework. So we're going to set you a little bit of homework this week.
Later when I go home.
When you go home. Yeah. Try these things, and also just be aware, we'll do a little exercise in a minute, there might be some resistance in that, because that's not how a lot of us see ourselves. Certainly it's not how I've been seeing myself, but then it's been needing this validation. So if I put the videos out on YouTube to get so many likes for people to say, oh, that was great, and that's impossible, because everybody's got different views. So if I can just start with myself and to love myself. And good people in our lives as well can kind of give us that. So, yeah, is everyone are you on board? You getting this? And I just love to talk about the human condition, what it's like to be human, because I've got a real passion for mental health. And the more that we can kind of do to generate more love, we can kind of change the world, and starting with ourselves. So, so I'm going to do a little exercise now around that. Start to spread a little bit of love, get a bit of love going. Okay. So if you'd like to, the invitation is to close your eyes, because I'm going to get you to start going to your bodies and go into your hearts a little bit. So if you're happy to do that, if not, you don't have to, but you can still do the exercise. So Nick, I don't need the 2-minute thing now. We're just going to go straight through. Thank you. So, with it, allowing your eyes to close. Just want you to start by imagining a person or an animal or even a plant. We're not here to discriminate people. Somebody or a pet for whom you've got love, a deep sense of love. Just feeling that sensation now in your heart. Maybe this is something you haven't done before. Just allowing that sensation to be there, that feeling of a deep love. Just allowing that then to expand as you breathe. Any thoughts that start, that's okay, just keep coming back to the heart. Now imagine that feeling expanding throughout this room. to all these wonderful performers, audience members, hosts. Allowing that feeling to spread. And then expanding further to the dog in the next room. So much love for that dog. Wow. These dogs can feel this stuff. Anyone that's got dogs in their lives, they can really feel. And then expanding across the whole of Brighton, this beautiful city that we've got, that anybody can come here and call home. And then the whole of the UK, love spreading out, however you're imagining this, allowing that feeling to grow even more. Beautiful. And then the whole world. Imagine our beautiful Mother Earth that gives us so much. Same gratitude, allowing that feeling to grow. And then allowing that sensation back into ourselves. What would it be like if I truly loved myself without having to perform? And just being aware this is something that only takes a few minutes. And we can start. This is how we start to change the world. And knowing how good it feels, we haven't even done anything. And when we start to think nicely about other people and ourselves, knowing how much better that feels when we're not complaining or criticizing people. Okay, pretty sure that I've probably gone over my 10 minutes now, but thank you so much, and thank you to the wonderful dog next door. I've been Marrron. Have a beautiful evening, people. Thank you.
Everybody give up for Marrron! Next up to the stage is going to be Fergal. Fergal to the stage. Fergal to the stage.